Alright everybody, welcome into Nosaj Time Coins and Collectibles. Um, in this video, I want to talk about this topic at hand, the subject of how to handle a situation like mine if you were unprepared for it or you weren't ready for it. And so this is just a list of things that I wanted to talk about here that I feel like could help a lot of people in case they ever end up in a situation like this. Because let's face it, the economy is bad, things get bad, and jobs let you go time to time. Speaking of which, I'm not in a trying to think. I'm not in the woods, by the way. I'm gonna show you where I am because it's the glare of the sun's getting to the camera. So hold on. All right, so if you look behind me, there's a bunch of buildings and all that. I am still in San Antonio, Texas. This is a different viewpoint of it, where I am. So hold on, let me just put the laptop down. The video is gonna be kind of all over the place until I get it situated. So, all right, so that's a better view. You can see people in the background still. All right, now, so I wrote a list down, so let me read them off, and we'll go into what it is that you should be doing in these situations, per se. Now, the first one I did is this is as soon as this takes place, is research the locations you're planning on going. Like, an example, if you like, let's just say tomorrow you go to work, you find out you're fired, and then like a couple days later you find out you lose your house, which is how I did it. Not the same for everybody, but that's how it happens sometimes. How you would what research your areas, just kind of like Google everything and see what the crime rate is. Unfortunately, we have a this sun's bothering me. Unfortunately, crime rate is a big thing that you want to look for in these situations. And there's a couple other things you want to look for, like how, you know, take into consideration what part of the city you want to go to and things like that. Like San Antonio has its parts, but San Antonio, where I'm at, isn't actually a bad city at all. There's not a really high crime rate here. It's a very, very low crime rate, and that's why I choose to stay here. Just like if you go to New York, you're gonna try to stay away from the Bronx. Bronx is the worst part of New York. I don't know how bad it is, but it probably changed over the course of time. Um, but yeah, this area I'm in is really, really good for somebody who just loses their job and has no place to go and just, doesn't really want to like go to a shelter. Now, I'll explain why I don't want to go to a shelter. All right. So, next thing I want to talk about is, all right, taking a look at your options. So, what I mean by that is your options, meaning that you can get help when you get to these places. Like, example, your options would be best place to find free food, best place to get free clothing in case you need it, best place to, take showers if you need it, um, so on and so forth. Like, the essential items you need to survive as a human being. Because let's face facts, you need your food. If you don't have enough money in your pocket and you need some food, these are places you could go to that will serve food to you, and you will be able to eat there instead. Um, you know, like like I was just saying, shelters. Now, there are shelters for me to go to, but I looked at I looked at the one I keep getting sent to. All right. And I heard it's really unsanitary there, which is something I'm probably gonna see if I can reach out to the township here and see if they could go and clean it up, you know. But I genuinely sleep outside every single night now because that's something I choose to do. During the day, I will take naps if I don't sleep at night, you know. And I wake up in the morning and I can go and take showers at certain places, stuff like that. You want to keep that stuff in mind. There's more to it. You can actually go and see about getting a free phone if your phone don't have service. All of that stuff's at your expense. You just need to do your research and find out within. Like, Like if you're really in need of food and you don't want to go to these places, you can always try to get food stamps, stuff like that. Some some government issued stuff that I didn't want to partake in to begin with, but I had to because I had no other option. So just something to keep your mind, just something to keep in mind. Let's see what the next one on this list was. I wanted to bring this up as this like survival guide. Um, oh, so did say they provide clothes certain places. All right. Now, this next one is something in general, like this is like more or less uh, security can be rough in certain places and sometimes they're not. It depends on where you go. I've been to places where you can't even sit down for like 10 minutes without security coming in and kicking you out. And that's in New York City, okay? I've been in New York City. I've done that before. That's something you want to check into and decide, are you okay with not being able to sit down for 10 minutes or so? Are you okay with, if in case you fall asleep somewhere, are you okay with being woken up right away? Because that's stuff that does really affect you as a human being. So you got to remember that. You know, I love San Antonio, but there are places I can go into and I can sit down for a good long time or just mosey about. And then there's places that don't let me do that. And so like at night when it's cold, I try my best to go to places that are warm. But there's a lot of places that don't really want you inside their building when it's cold out. So you gotta find out if there's, an option. So just keep that in mind too. And that goes along with the weather too. You gotta like think about it. How bad is the weather? Is the weather gonna be is the weather one of those things that you are gonna be able to handle at night when you're outside and it's like cold? Because even right now, each state individually, it still gets cold. It still gets pretty cold. Where I am, it does in San Antonio, it dropped down to the 30s at night. It's still cold, but it's still tolerable. And if it gets really cold, I do go into places and warm up. So that's just something you want to take into consideration and think about also. So this is just something I wanted to bring up, just in case people do fall in this situation. Because right now, with the way the everything is, until everything gets fixed again, um, we will see a lot of people go into this situation and we will see a lot of people unsure what to do. So I wanted to make this a survival guide tip on how to handle, if you were to lose everything tomorrow, if you didn't have your job tomorrow or you didn't have a place to stay tomorrow, what would you do? How you would handle it. And that's just my take on it. You know, I hope this really, really helps people out there, and I hope it helps them to understand that we are in a really rough time, that this could happen to just about anybody. And I showed up to my job every single day on time, doing the job right, and I paid my rent one time and still ended up with all this. So, just something to think about. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your time. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. More updates are coming after this. I'm gonna try to make more videos like this to help you guys in case situations do get out of hand like this. But you're also gonna see me grow. So I'm slightly recording stuff. So far I'm like pretty much in the system of San Antonio, Texas, and I'm going through some steps right now to get my butt back in gear. My main problem right now, my main two issues are finding work and the other issue is I want to say finding a place to really, really sleep at night that's warm until the warm season actually comes. Because once the warm season comes, it's going to be a lot more tolerable to sleep in certain places outside and tolerate that as opposed to, you know, I genuinely want a bed. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want to. And okay, so I don't want to sleep at shelters because they're unsanitary. I've been told stories about them being very unsanitary, like I said earlier. So that is why I choose to sleep outside at night. And yeah, it's not very much fun, but it's what I'm doing in the meantime to cope with everything until, I'm ready for my next step. And whatever my next step will be, it'll be a lot better than where I am right now. And you're gonna watch me grow. That's another thing you're gonna see. You're gonna watch me grow from here, being out and without a job, to growing to the point where I actually do have a job and I'm getting back into a place of living and stuff like that. So just hang in there, watch. You're gonna be pretty amazed. This is kind of a documentary channel now, I guess. So, and with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I help you guys in some way understand what this is like, and I hope that you guys take into consideration this could happen to you too. So just be aware of that. All right, take it easy. God bless, and have a wonderful night.